Hi guys, so for today's Scrap Your Stash, we're going to do something a little bit different. I used to love making like envelope mini albums and obviously just mini albums and from scratch and all these kinds of things. But since I'm heading out of town, I don't have time to make that kind of video, and I've been planning on it, but I was like, what else can I do that's kind of similar, but in a way not really. So we made a folio very recently. What I think I'm going to do is like my son just got his school pictures in, right? Miranda barely took hers, so I had to... they're on order. But a way to gift like wallets or photos or even a gift card. And I actually have a gift card sitting here. Well, actually, it's not a gift card. It's the applicator that Diamond Press uses. So I'm going to use that as something to help me create this project. And it's going to have flaps and things, so that way if you want to put little pictures on it, you can. So it's kind of scrappy, but mostly a gift card holder. I don't know. Just things that I've seen in the past that I'm kind of thinking that maybe we should revisit. So let's do that. So again, this is Scrap Your Stash, so get your pretty papers out. If I use anything that's still available, I'll link it in the description box. Those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items to those links. But other than that, I think everybody's going to have the stuff that we have. You guys, I just found this. Do you guys remember I had just misplaced an SD card probably a couple weeks ago, and I knew it had to be here. I'm like, it must have fallen over or something happened. So I have all my inks and some other things right here, and I have a feeling maybe this was on there because I was going to use it like literally that day, like I had put it to the side, so I know it was here, and then I started thinking I threw it in the trash. This is not a personal SD card, it's more for this, but I did use my camera one time to film Miranda's spring concert, I think it was, which is interesting because that's the only thing that's on here. And then I thought about it later, I'm like, oh no, I think I threw it away or I lost it. This literally was just right now. I came over here to grab this card because it was sitting there like this, and I guess the card had tipped and this was just sitting right behind it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because I have some glue bottles here, so everything kind of tipped over for some reason and exposed the gift card. And I looked all in there, not the gift card, but this. I'm not even kidding, I looked in every little pocket in that area, and it was behind this, I guess, when it was up and down. Now that it tipped over. How funny. I would have grabbed this anyway. I would have seen it. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to put that in my little case. I actually bought a new case, and I have a tutorial or video on that. But anyway, this is how it is on my channel, guys. What are you going to do? Okay, so we have this guy, and this is your standard, I would say, gift card. So I'm going to base it off of this. So again, I measure this every time. I should already know it's like 3.5 is a good one. If you're making a pocket and you don't want it too tight, maybe you want to do a little more than 3.5. So I don't want to make ugly numbers. That's the other thing I'm thinking about. So let's say 3 3/4 for this middle section of what we're going to create. Okay, we're going to create something with like flaps and cute things. So this has to be, or actually the pocket has to be 3 3/4. I'm going to make a pocket in here. That's what I was envisioning. Okay, guys, so 3 3/4 in this little pocket. So, to add a little something from that, maybe 1/4 inch on either side, right? So another 1/2 inch. So 4 1/4 from here to here is what I want this little panel to be. And then the height has to clear at least 2 1/8. If you tuck it in, maybe we're covering, let's say, 1 inch, or 1.5 inches is kind of high, huh? So let's say 1 1/4 inches. So I want this to be 1 1/4 inches in this direction. We're going to need glue tabs and all these things. I'm just giving you these numbers so you can see how I plan things. Okay, and then from in there, let's say, like I said, 2 1/8. I don't like the 1/8, so let's just say 2 1/4. That way we're not messing with 1/8. 2 1/4 here, and then another 1/4 inch down here, 1/4 inch at the top. How about that? So 2 1/4 plus another 1/4, and well, yeah, so 2 3/4. Does that seem right? That seems too skinny, but I guess this was too. Oh yeah, that's plenty. Okay, I just want the same amount of room kind of around this, I suppose. So 2 3/4. Okay. So if I want to do a score line here and have another flap that goes up here, it would be the same height as this guy. So 2 3/4. What do I feel like I'm doing something wrong? Let's see. We have that. Tuck it in. This is 1 1/4. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Sounds good. Okay. And then another one down here is what I would plan for. So another 2 3/4. The score lines here are going to be very negligible, so I'm not adding like 1/4 inch. You can make a gusset if you want. I'm just going to make it so it just folds and it's not the biggest deal if it's a little bit, We'll work that out. And then if we want to put little flaps over here, I think that'd be cute too. Because again, the whole thing with mini albums and all these things, it was doing flaps, adding pockets, doing all these fun things. So it's just going to be something like this. And then maybe these flaps come in. Of course, we're going to have to tighten these up just a little bit. And I'll show you when I cut these, because you don't want them to be in the way of this score line, you know, when these come in. But if we are doing 4.5, you can imagine that these can be 2 1/4, right? But still the 2 3/4 high. Oop, I wrote half, 2 1/4. Okay, that's it. So, I mean, we can do much more, but I think this will be cute. You know, back in the day, I would add like maybe a 1/16 of an inch in here and in here to make it a little bit better. So maybe when we're cutting it, we'll do something to help us out, but I doubt it. I think I'm just going to make it very simple with our numbers. Okay, so let's think here. Yeah, we just have to add these up. So 2 1/4, that's 4.5 plus 4.5, that's 9 inches. And that's if we're just making it very simple. And then the other direction, this one's going to take a little more math. 2 3/4, 2, 4, 6, 7.5, 8 1/4. Does that seem right? If that's not right, I will come back and let you guys know. But it seems right. 2, 4, 6, and then 1.5, so that's 7.5 plus another half, that's 8, and then leaves 1/4. So yeah, 8 1/4. So I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock that is 9 by 8 1/4. We're going to start doing some scoring, and then we'll start decorating, okay? So I'll be right back. Oh, I will say, if you don't like 8 1/4, you just want to use your whole A2 size width, just add something somewhere in here that makes that happen. But honestly, I mean, these can even overlap, right? These two guys, they don't have to meet up in the center. Whatever you want to do. But anyway, I'll be right back. I went ahead and cut this down 8 1/4 by 9, just like I said. Now, you can do this on your scoreboard, you can do this on your trimmer. I'm just going to bring out the scoreboard because, I don't know, why not? So I'm going to grab that right quick. And let's look at our stuff and make sure we're doing things correctly. So this is the 9-inch side. So on the 9-inch side, we're going to score at 2 1/4 from either end. So either you can go 2 1/4, give it your score, and then turn it and do it again, or do the math. But I'm just going to turn it instead of doing the math. But basically from the 9-inch, you're going to come in 2 1/4. That would be 6 3/4, right? So 2 1/4. And in the other direction, on the 8-inch side, this is all symmetrical, so it's going to be the same. 8 1/4 inch side, we're going to score at 2 3/4 and 2 3/4, right? Hopefully I'm doing this right. So sometimes I'll get confused with you know, anyway, 2 3/4, and again, you can do the math, or you can look at the 8 1/4 and say, okay, that's, you know, and go backwards, but that's okay. So 2 3/4. See, that still looks very skinny to me, but this is the area where our gift card is going to sit. Yeah, and we gave ourselves plenty of room for that, so that's okay. All right, we're going to do a little bit of cutting. Now, again, I could have done this on my paper trimmer, but I'm just going to grab some scissors and hope for the best. These scissors sometimes aren't this one. This is the one I want. Oh, you know what? I got some goo on them, so maybe this isn't the one I want. But either way, we're going to cut this part away. Alright, so just right on there. Again, obviously your paper trimmer is going to do this nicer, but that. And we're going to take this off. Now, when I fold this, I want this to tuck in nicely. I don't want this to be right on the edge of this, so I'm going to go on the right of my score line. So my score line is right there. I'm just going to go to the right of it. Just make it a little bit smaller, guys, than the actual score line that's there, okay? Same thing with this one. I'm going to go on the left of it just to make it a little bit smaller, keep it out of the way of the score line when I come over here. And then this guy, I can just cut straight up on the score line, or however. We're going to have a lot of matte layers on this guy. Okay, same thing on this corner. So pretty much in all the corners, this is the thin, long way, this is the big flap, right? So again, just straight up on that one. As straight as you can make it. And then on this one, just to the right of the score line. And just to the left of the score line. And then straight up here. I need to trim a little bit more of that later to make it nicer, settle in nicer, I will do that. I like this side of the paper better to be the inside, like, score whichever side you like, but basically we're looking at something like this. And let me get rid of this for now. So when I score this, I'm going to kind of push out, even just that little bit makes a difference, pushing out that way. And same thing with this one, I'm going to kind of push out in this direction. And if they were exactly the same, because, you know, they would meet right up in the middle, but I kind of made them push out a little bit. And then these flaps are going to come in. And when I do that, see how it's already wanting to give itself a little bit of room? I'm just going to score towards the out. Okay, give it a little room. And then this one can go out this way. Now, if we want this to close with like a little closure, we can do that. So I'll probably go ahead and add a little something. But that is our basic piece. We can make a pocket with the same color. You can make a pocket with, you know, pattern paper. It's up to you. I'm telling you, this is going to be very cute. But for right now, it looks very basic, I know. So I'm going to grab some papers. I'm going to do some measurements here for us. So again, the paper was 8 1/4 by 9. On the 9-inch side, you're scoring at 2 1/4 on either side. On the 8 1/4, you're scoring at 2 3/4 on either side, right? So now we're going to take some measurements. And we're going to make matte layers for that. So again, it's 4 1/2 because that's what we did. So I will do matte layers that are 4 3/8 by 2. I'm going to write it on here. 4 3/8 by, the other direction should be 2 and whatever we had said, 2 3/4, right? Okay, so 2 3/4, I'm going to say 2 5/8. Right? Is that right? Let me see. I just want a 1/4 inch smaller. 2 5/8, 2 7, yeah. Because otherwise, yep, okay. It was 2 3/4. So for that area, that's what I'm going to do. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to matte layer this, you can do that too. If you want to matte layer the back, you can do that too, but they're going to be basically the same as all these, right? They're all the same. So I need 4 of those at least. And then for these guys, which I forgot, because that's how I am, we made it a little bit smaller than, I mean, if you look, it's like negligibly smaller than the 2 3/4. And the other way, it's 2 1/4, right? So 2 1/8. 2 1/8 by 2 5/8. That should still work for us. So I need 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4 for either side. So I'm just going to grab some paper that coordinates with this bright orange and cut 4 that are 2 5/8 by 4 3/8 and 4 that are 2 1/8 by 2 5/8. If you save paper and your paper doesn't have a direction, like this has a direction, and I only had a little scrap of this paper left anyway, do the 4 3/8, you know, side first. That way you have that width. Because if you try to just cut your paper in half at 4 3/8, you're going to have a very small, about 4 inch less than, you know, piece on the other side, and that doesn't give you another full mat. So I would cut the 4 3/8 first, and then do the other, you know, the 2 1/8 or whatever it was. I'm sorry, 2 5/8. And then on the other ones, it just works out. You have scraps that you can put in here, right? Okay. So 2 5/8. That's just 2 1/2 and just a little eighth more. Okay. So I haven't done my pocket yet, but you can definitely do that first or last or whatever. So these, like I said, do have a direction, so I'm going to follow that. And I'm kind of mixing and matching my paper. So just going to do this one. This is from, I think, the Sweet Sunshine paper from Diamond Press. If you want to stylize this more, you can definitely corner around. That'd be very cute, you know, all those kinds of things. Before I forget, I also need to embed a piece of ribbon on the outside. Or you can put a little Velcro closure. Oh, should we do Velcro? I haven't done that in a long time. That'll be easy. Because I wasn't planning on matte layering the very back. So, if you just put some Velcro or a magnet. If you're going to do a magnet, like if you're going to spend, I know magnets cost a little more, you would embed it, you know what I'm saying, in between your matte layers, wherever it is that you want to put your magnet. So just remember that before you stick things down. And if you want to do a little, this one's a little bit shorter on the top than the others, and just make sure everything's folding still. a ribbon, you would just get a length of ribbon that's long enough to go around your whole project, and also some for tying, right? So these guys are going here, this one here, this here. You would put a piece of ribbon like back here, and obviously you're going to have a matte layer there holding it. And then you can also put the ribbon so it goes under this and comes out down here, and then the other one's just sticking out down here. You don't have to anchor it with this one, right? Or Velcro. So I have Velcro and I'm going to do that today. Alright, we have that. And on the other side, I'm just going to use opposite little, these guys. And then you can make pockets within this. You can add die cuts. You can put little stickers. You can put pictures, of course. That's, you know, if you want to make it very cute. So I used to do videos called Start from Stash and Scrap Your Stash. They're going to be very similar, guys. I'm trying to make it scrappy, but it can be anything. Okay, and then we have our bubbles that are the same, so I'm just going to glue these however because they don't have a direction, and I'll be right back. You know, it's funny, I just finished gluing this, and then I was like, oh, did I put this the right direction? So if your paper has direction, but I did, so that's good. There you go. Look how cute. Right? Okay, let's do a little more work. So there it is. Now, in this little area, you want a matte layer, you know, I'm of two minds. I mean, it looks kind of plain without the matte layering, but I do have some extra of this. I mean, I can totally pop that in there. Oh, that's cute, huh? Fine. All right, let's do that one too. Let me just cut that down. And of course, now I covered up my numbers here, but I think that should be 2 5/8 deep. Let's see. 2 5/8. Yeah, this paper just has a little extra on that. And then we had said 4 1/2, so 4 3/8, right? 4 3/8. Let me just make sure. Oh, it's already cut to the right size because I cut it earlier for another part of this, right? So perfect. All right, so I'll pop this in here. And we're going to cover it up. Again, you know, we have plenty of papers. I'm not trying to be chintzy with the paper. I'm sure we have lots of paper. I'm sure you do too. Okay, so there's that. Now I do have this orange strip from our 8.5 by 11 piece paper that we began with, so let's just make our pocket from that. So our pocket wants to be 3 3/4 inches wide and 1 1/4 inch deep. I usually do 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch glue tabs to make it easy. Let's do 1/2 inch. So if we're doing 3 3/4, we're going to add an inch, so that should be 4 3/4. So the pocket's going to be 4 3/4. And then 1 1/4 inch deep plus 1 glue tab because it's only going to be glued at the bottom. So 1 3/4. So 1 3/4. So 4 3/4 by 1 3/4, and then we're going to bring it down to 1/2 inch and do a score line. Don't cut it, Vianney. Score line at 1/2 inch and score line at 1/2 inch on either side. Right, of that. Now I brought out my corner rounder and corner notcher because it would be cute to kind of dig in here. Now we're just going to make a pocket, so I'm going to divot this here at like an angle to get rid of that corner. If you want to make it a little more stylized, you can also get rid of this part. So when you go to glue it, it looks nicer. Again, divot in here, right out there. And so this is definitely the size of a wallet. You can put a wallet photo in there. You can just put the picture in there. You can mount it in a way that comes away or however you want to gift it. But we have this guy. So this makes a cute pocket, and we can also just put some, you know, little cuteness on that. I did get this notcher. I don't know if I notch this and I notch the next piece if it's going to look right, but I'm just going to eyeball the center, which I'm sure I'm going to be off because I do this all the time, and then I'm like, ah, that could have been over a little bit. So you have that. And it looks very cute. I mean, it can just be like this, or we can matte layer, and then if we matte layer, I'm probably going to want to notch that too. So I don't know if it's going to work for us. I don't have any scraps, I think, of my paper that will work, so I'm going to have to I'd rather use this guy. That's a bummer. I only have pieces that look like this of this, you know. Nah, that's not gonna work. Okay, we're gonna need a matte layer that is 1 1/8 by 3 5/8. 3 5/8, 1 1/8. If you want to do that, okay. So let me see what I have. I'll be right back. So to make this look about symmetrical as much as I can, I'm cutting off on either side to kind of center those rainbows, and you know, the best I can. I mean, it's the smallest little smidge over here. Okay, and again, are we going to punch the very center? I might flub it from this, but let's see. I'm eyeballing left and right. And I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. Okay, there's like a line down here. I'm going to bring it to that line. I just feel like I need to do that. So just a little bit of this gets notched away because I have a feeling, yeah, see, it's too perfect. You know what, let's go ahead and bring it all the way down. Sometimes when you line something up like this, or like if you have a circle, like notch, I'm just gonna look at the back and make sure I'm in the same spot. And you try to match them up, it doesn't match, and it's like kind of annoying. But I think this is better. Yeah, that works out much better. So go ahead and just line up the whole thing, like bring in your paper completely to do your punch. That's awesome. Okay. So, oh, the other thing is on this guy, do you want to put it this way or this way? So, see, if this is underneath, when you slide your gift card in, you can imagine it's going to hit this possibly. So, it's better to put this on the outside of these tabs. It's just a small thing, but it can make a difference with the ease of sliding your tabs in, or your gift card, sorry. So, always put the glue right to the very tip. Of course, you don't want that causing you any issues where the gift card goes in. The other thing I want to make sure is that it's where we want it to be. So like right in there should be good. Okay. You know, we made all our numbers and did all our stuff, and I'm just going to hold that down. I am going to make sure that I'm not gluing it down in a way I don't want, like completely gluing it down. Let's bring this little guy. And this is, like I said, Sweet Sunshine, but it really goes with this one card kit that Diamond Press had put out before. So again, with scrapbooking and things like that, if there's a collection, I would recommend you pick up everything from it. Oh, you know what? That's a little bit off. I'm going to do something that's not kosher. I'm going to try to cut this as straight as I can, a little bit off there, just because I want a little more matte layer on this side. There it goes. You want to pick up the embellishments that go with it. I mean, it really helps out. That was always the struggle whenever we were first early scrapbooking. It's hard to match colors and themes and things, right? But companies got smart and they started putting out all the things you need, your ephemera and all those kinds of fun things. So this adds thickness, obviously, all these layers. Let's make sure we have enough room for this guy. Okay, so I still need some glue time. Look at... And it's like perfect, you guys. Again, we did 1/4 inch from the base, not from the matte layer, right? 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. Looks a little less wide there. And when we close it up, we have this cutie. We're going to use a little, what's it called? Oh, I have clasps. I have so many things we could use, but honestly, that would have a whole other dimension of what we need to do. So for me, this is good. Went right to the very top there. So I have these ephemera pieces from Squeeze the Day, and there's just, you know, there are a ton of things in here. So depending on what you want to say, obviously you can do die cuts and all these fun things. So I'm just going to bring out all of these guys. I have little flowers and bees, and so excited for you, the words, that's cute. So I'm just going to play with this and see what I would want to put in here. I mean, of course you can come in here. I'm going to keep things relatively flat, but you can definitely, if you want to add more bulk, just give yourself a little, either a little more room, right, and width of, like, in the measurements, or score yourself 2 score lines, you know, the one right on, and then maybe one that's a 1/16 of an inch away or an 1/8 of an inch away, but make sure to add that to your flaps or whatever when you're creating yours. So, I mean, this could be here, but let's put it there. You have a little picture here, a little matte layer, another, you know, all those fun things. So just, it's a really cute thing to have. Z days ahead, maybe with the little, I don't know. So I saw a thanks. Thanks is always cute. Is this one too big for this? Perfect. Okay, on the front I can pop this up. So I'll probably put some dimensionals there. Right now I'm just going to play with this inside portion and just add some fun things. I already have some guy there. Oh, these are fun. Like, just... why not, right? Just some crazy stuff here and there. And I'll be back. I'm just going to add some different bits wherever I feel like. I pretty much added ephemera, or maybe left a little bit there. But again, put it in your pictures, put in cute things. do your wallets, you know, whatever it is. Super sweet. And I have my thanks here. So I made mine more of a gift card holder, but we have that. And before I really stick that down, I mean, maybe I add a couple more things just to be really cute. So I'm just gonna toss this little guy in there. I made it really eclectic and fun. Okay, so hold on. Why did I pick that up before doing anything? And a little flower there. Okay, let me grab a little, what's the thing called? A Velcro hook and loop closure. I'm going to put it right here. I thought I was going to put these things away, but I did not. Okay, so we have this little guy. Should be one across the other. And generally what I do is I close it. I always forget which one goes on the top, which one goes on the bottom. I feel like the loops should be at the bottom and the fuzz goes at the top. Just what makes it easier when you're opening it, you know. You can definitely put more glue. You can put hot glue if you don't trust it, you know, whatever it is you want. Let me see, let me think. So this is definitely going to be in the way. So, I mean, you can account for that, right? I just decided to do hook and loop, but you can do the ribbon and that would just completely be out of the way. Nothing to worry about. This is going to cover some of our cuteness. Just going to hold that down for a little bit and it should, yep, just open up. There it is. Alright guys, well thanks for watching. I hope you had fun with this one, you know, using up some of your paper, some of your ephemera, all those cute things that you have in your stash. I will have images coming up. I'll have links as appropriate in the description box and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.